Welcome to Smart Questions. This is where, as a team, we take challenges that have come up from conversations we've had with clients in the last few days, and we explore some of the key salient points from it. It's not all about what the textbooks would say, and we won't necessarily come up with all of the whole range of solutions, but the idea is that we cover enough that there's at least a good takeaway that you can have that will help you to address that particular challenge or question that has come up. So we hope you find it useful. All right, hello Granger. I'll start that again. Hi Granger, here we go. Another episode of Smart Questions. So what's the question we got this week after my initial gaffe of trying to start this question off?
Hi Kevin. Yes. So this week we've got a really interesting one, which is about designing ladders for your services. So the question really was, I'm thinking about laddering my services rather than just having a smorgasbord of opportunities for my clients. What should I be thinking about, and why should I want to do that?
So laddering, what do we mean by that? I guess it's got nothing to do with tights.
Absolutely not. No. So so laddering your services is where you're looking at your services and maybe in terms of price structure or complexity or the amount of activity you do, and you build it one after another. So you're slowly increasing for each of your services more value, therefore more price, more activity, etc. So you're sort of building a ladder or a staircase that you'll move your customers through over time to increase the value you're providing for them, and also maybe the revenue costs that you are generating from each of your clients.
So why, going back to the question, so why would we want to do that?
So the easiest the thing to think about is, you're about to, you're trying to sell to a client. You're trying to engage with them in terms of understanding everything that you do in terms of your activities, your processes, your systems, the value that you apply to them. So if you can start off at a smaller level, then it's an easier engagement for them. They're not spending as much money. They're not fully, not using all your services in terms of the structures. So therefore, they're sort of testing the waters, they're understanding. And then over time, as you start to move them up through those service ladders, through more engagement with them, and I liked your description, or you talked about, you've got an account management process of taking them through. They build that trust with you. They get to understand you. You get to understand them. Are they a good fit for your business? Yeah. And therefore you can start moving them through negotiations and discussions up through your ladder in terms of the services. So it's a way of sort of over time building that trust between the two of you and delivering more value for them, and therefore more revenue for yourselves.
Great. And we'd love, wouldn't we, because most of us that have started up a business, we've got this vision in mind about how wonderfully we can help a business, all the great things that we can do with a particular business. And it's kind of, there's all of these, we want to do all of these things. So we want to have that kind of at one end, don't we, of our staircase, if you like, or of our ladder. But what you're saying is, not every customer is going to get all of that. They're not going to understand it for a start straight away. And they're certainly not necessarily, if they don't have any relationship with us before, they're certainly not going to suddenly go, yeah, I'll take all of that. So what we want to do is find a way to the entry point for them, really, and then find the little steps that we might move them up towards eventually, hopefully, that ideal range of services.
Absolutely, yes. And I think you described it as a monkey paw, which was an expression I've not heard before.
Yeah, monkey's paw. It's something that it comes from the shipping world, when you've got these enormous, great big ropes. The ferries, for example, you can't throw one of those to the guy on the dock, so you attach a thinner rope to the end of this rope, and then you attach a ball, and that's the monkey's paw bit. So you can then throw that across to the guy on the dock. He can then reel it in and reel in the big rope that comes there. I'm not quite sure where the monkey reference comes from, but but that's the idea. So in other words, rather than trying to get the customer to grab hold of this enormous thick rope, and we can't even throw it to them properly, let's find something lighter that they think, yep, that's great, they can grab hold of that, and then they can pull it in, or we can pull them in if as well, whichever way around we want to look at it.
Yeah, excellent. I like that idea. And also, if you're thinking about, you're starting up a business or you're starting a new service, maybe your existing business and you're moving into another marketplace or another structure, by designing your ladder, your staircase in terms of doing things, what you don't need to now do is design and manufacture every single service that you're going to do. You can start at those small services, and you only need to be one step ahead of your customers as they grow and move through those services with you. So you don't have to build all the smorgasbord of everything you need to do that you've got these fantastic ideas for. You just build it up in steps in terms of doing that.
That's an excellent point for us all to think about, because again, some of us are guilty, aren't we, about it has to be perfect. We have to have the answer to every single nuance, every single question before we want to put something out there, and we don't. We need to do what you've just said, which is kind of it comes a little bit back also to the software world, the idea of defining a minimum viable product, an MVP, that does something of value, that gets us to out there in the marketplace as quickly as possible and engaging with the customer. They're understanding us, but they're also paying us some money, so they get used to actually paying for something, but that then we can hopefully then build on. And as you say, we can design that as we go once we then fully understand, because it might be that actually our vision of the whole big range of services may not be actually what the customer needs. We may find by doing that first part that we go in a slightly different direction and build a slightly different ladder.
Yes. And so I would still think you should design the ladder in terms of your thinking and what that will be. But you don't have to build the services or the software or whatever it is you're going to deliver, and be able to do that. And it's important to design the ladder as well, because at the top end of the ladder, you want a halo effect. You want something sort of, wow, they do that, or they achieve that in terms of doing stuff. So you've got, you may never sell that service and you may never even build it, but you've got something up there that really is attractive to the sort of client in terms of doing stuff, and especially in the consultancy world. Having that really high end, a few £100,000 service that you may only sell once in your entire life, but it has that wonderful halo effect to help anchor the ladder at the top in terms of building people through it in terms of doing things. And
is there a right number of steps on the ladder that we should that we should have? Does it matter?
I don't think so. I don't think you want too many. You don't want a very small fine-tooth saw, because it can be difficult to move up in terms of doing stuff. And you might want just a few services in terms of driving through. So but I don't think there's a defined set of numbers that you should have that's good or bad. But you want that ability to move people forwards in terms of as they've been with you, to take them up through the next level, so you can build on your customer base, because it's easier to develop a relationship with an existing customer and offer them more services and more activities, because they've got that trust with you and you've got that trust with them, than it is to find new clients coming in at another level. Okay, so you want a few to be able to take them up through the journey, but not fine-tooth saw that it takes you forever in terms of doing that. Absolutely not.
And again, this comes back also to really understanding what it is that we're trying to achieve as a business. So what is our core, what's our core purpose? We use that a lot, but because if we know what that is, we can then say, well, what's the perfect service that would deliver that core purpose? That's our halo one, isn't it? And then we can say, okay, well, assuming we can't start there, what would get us a big chunk of the way there, but that's much more manageable, and that's either our monkey's paw or our starting point on that ladder, isn't it? So what would get us a good chunk of the way there, but maybe not the absolute ideal service that would take forever to put together. Let's start here.
Absolutely, yes, and that's the power of thinking about laddering or building a staircase for your products or services.
Brilliant, Granger. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kevin.
If you found that useful, imagine what it'd be like coming along to Scale Up Club, where you'll have other business owners that will be raising challenges, but helping you to address your challenges on an ongoing basis. So just look in the description and the comments to find out how you can come along to the next Scale Up Club. And also, why not have a look at my book, The Entrepreneurial Scale Up System? You'll find the answers to all sorts of questions in there, along with that system of how to scale up your business. So hopefully look forward to seeing you soon.